Welcome to the Rad Randall Movie Show. I'm your host, Rad Randall, the host of Child for ADHD. This is the show you go to when the train goes off of the rails. Now, if you want to do some movie shows, some movie channels on the interwebs that are well researched, articulate, well polished, man, they're out there and there's a lot of them. Go check them out. That's cool. But if you want to have a good time, maybe laugh a little bit and do not get hung up on the details too much, come hang with me, Rad Randall. I promise you a rad time. Let's get into it, everybody. It's been a little while since I've been on here. I uploaded my first episode 2 Thursdays later. I was supposed to upload another one. I have shot a total of friggin' 3 movies. And no, actually, it's technically, 3 movies and just a bonus show. And you're not going to believe it. I've had the worst luck you could ever imagine. So I have my first one, which was this right here. Yeah, that's right. I talked about Blade Runner, and it was awesome. It was epic. Then my editor called me 2 days into it and said, "Yo, Randall, we got a problem." I'm like, "A problem? What do you mean?" "Yeah, your audio is corrupted on your show, on your episode." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, you gotta record the whole thing. I can't fix it." I'm like, "What? I can't deliver that energy twice. It'd be totally fake. I couldn't do it. No." So I'm like, "All right, that's good. We're out of that." I mean, this was awesome, by the way. Harrison Ford in both of them. Ryan Gosling is the main protagonist in the newest one. The old one has Harrison Ford as the main protagonist. Both love stories. I mean, this was freaking epic right here. If you put these two side by side on 1080p screens and press shut the sound off, dude, you wouldn't know that they were 2 different movies. Seriously. Denis Villeneuve is the one who recorded this one, and you know how I feel about Denis Villeneuve, the director, man. That dude is awesome. He loves to build real sets. He loves practical effects. He loves all those things. All the things I love about movies. I'm not a huge CG guy. I understand it has a time and place. In certain movies, you just have to do what you have to do, but he's old school, man. And I tell you what, if you put pause, you would never be able to tell the difference. It was that good. Clear back in the 80s, it was that good. Matched up today with all of today's. This is 2016 or 17, I think they came out with this. Anyway, both were awesome. No complaints whatsoever. But I also couldn't get my energy back on that one, so I'm like, all right, whatever. It's gone. Maybe someday I'll revisit it, but for right now, I can't. So I didn't. I've watched this several times, but I haven't watched it for a while. Big Trouble in Little China? Heck yeah. I mean, Kurt Russell. We have all the biggest Asian actors that ever were in it. I mean, it's everything you could ever love about an 80s movie. Tacky catchphrases, fun, a certain type of comedy. I mean, Kurt Russell played a character, played like, I got it all under control, but he had nothing under control. All his dudes, all his buddies around him were doing all the hard work while he was trying to take all the credit. He was completely oblivious to it. Dude, this is a great movie. It has everything. I'm talking about practical effects. I'm talking about horrible monsters. They were horrible. The monsters in this, oh my gosh, horrible. But it had everything, man. High flying acts, half god, half human people in it. Electricity, powers, beautiful women, all the things. And all the comedy you could ever want in a silly 80s movie. It was wonderful. So, that one also got corrupted. This one had a corruption of the Randall. The audio was pretty good on it. The video was pretty good on it. But the Randall... Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that anymore. I was trying to refer to myself. Like, the third person. Alright. The truth was, I wasn't feeling it, man. I literally shot this one for 2 days straight. Or 2 weeks straight. No, 2 days. It's a total of like 4 days total over a 2-week period. I couldn't get into it, man. I love the movie, but I was just like, blah, 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 and I just, my energy was never right on any of the days, and I ain't got the energy. I ain't got a movie to talk about. So I realized it's got to be energy first, less about what the details of the movie, because you know what, there's lots of people out there on the interwebs that do this stuff very well. way better than I do, and you're gonna have to go to them. This is where you're gonna go when you're not worried about the polished perfection. I'm not that. I'm totally and utterly, helplessly a mess. But that's not always a bad thing. It's kind of my superpower, if that can be a superpower. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to try something new. I usually have a computer right here. I'm looking at all my notes, but I'm going to do with note cards. I'm going to try something different. So, I'm back, baby. That's right. That's what that says. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this one right here. Ryan Gosling was the main protagonist in this one right here. And I'm just going to give you a little backstory of what he's doing right now. This is 2024. This is May 2024. He just came out with a new movie called The Fall Guy. And I haven't seen it yet, but from what I'm seeing in the theaters, it's not doing well. I hate that for him because he's such a great actor. He just can do everything. Barbie was a complete smash hit. Billions of dollars. It was awesome. He killed it. He was so talented. But for some reason, The Fall Guy just ain't doing it for him. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's talk about Harrison Ford, who's in both these movies. Harrison Ford is currently working on 2 releases. One's called Captain America New World Order and Thunderbolts. I don't know much about either one of those. And when it starts getting to Captain America and stuff like that, like I start kind of shunning away from the in-game Marvel stuff. I loved it, and then when they stopped making the movies for the Guardians of the Galaxy, after those guys kind of got off, I kind of lost interest. I watched the very last one, but really I've never followed it. I've never watched anything else from that. I need to, though, to be fair, but I'm just not into it right now. It's definitely low on my motivation. So those are what he's into. Oh, that's a chip card. That's what he's doing right now. Then I did a video I forgot to tell you about. So I did these ones right here, and then I didn't have the energy that was really matching at all. I didn't want you guys to see that horrible mess that came with Big Trouble Little China. So I rewrote a whole different episode with no movie in particular, except for the state of the movie industry as we know it. Boy, does that sound boring. But I'm serious. Things are weird out there, okay, right now. So, production companies, the big production companies, they're like a little iffy because they don't know what to do. They're competing with streamers, and then a lot of them are starting to start their own streamers. Well, have been starting their own streamers, and it's hit and miss. Like, Netflix is still killing it on all levels, while maybe Paramount or some of these others, Amazon, stuff like that, not so much. People are kind of manipulating the system a little bit, so they don't lose money. They've tried. I gotta give them props. They've tried to put movies in theaters. It's just so hit and miss, which has always been the case when it comes to movies in theaters. But man, it's really, when you have massive budgets, $100 million budgets, and a movie makes 10 million, 20 million, 35 million, you're way off there. So, so they went to streaming. They still have to put the big budgets, but, they get a little bit of their money back. It's not so reliant on the box office. So, what they're doing now is a lot of these big companies are starting to bundle up. I think Disney was the one who really started creating the bundling up scenario, and they're kind of experts at it. Netflix is still on their own, man. They're still killing it. So like, no, we don't need a bundle right now. We're good. We're the king of the castle. So anyway, so these big production companies are bundling up with their streaming services so they can have multiple channel or multiple streamers to go through, so they don't lose so much revenue. So the state of the movie industry, we're between streaming and theater releases. And it's kind of the way it has to be now. These companies just can't take the risks they used to. They're learning. They've got to recoup some of their money, so they're sending less to theaters. They're spending less, bigger budgets. They're basically making less movies nowadays, so that they can compensate for the money they're spending, so they can balance it out. It's a new and unusual future. It's the Wild Wild West in the movie industry, and they're doing so many things differently. There's something called, I forgot to mention what Kurt Russell's doing from Big Trouble Little China. He is currently working on a horror movie called Monarch: Legacy of the Monsters. So that'll be unique to see him in a horror movie. But he's shooting that right now. So all these are gonna come out, I think, sometime in 2024. Alright, so where was I? Okay, so new and unusual Wild Wild West for the movie industry. We're not sure what's going to happen. No one is. So I just hope it balances out. What I would really like to see, I'm obviously a movie fan, but I'm also a YouTube fan. I would love to see more of these transitions from these content creators going into the mainstream movies. I think there's been a couple of them that have been successful. A lot of them haven't. But they're getting a little bit better at it. So the problem from what I understand, is when content creators from YouTube bring their talents to movies, the producers want to control it like I've always done in the movie industry, and you just cannot do that with a YouTuber. YouTubers are the cowboys, man, the cowgirls, but it just doesn't work that way. We make amazing things for huge audiences, some of us, not all of us, but some of us, and we have like no budget, and so we're used to working on that. So these production companies want to come in and tell a YouTuber doesn't have a budget, who's just been doing things with no money and being very successful at it, and they're trying to tell them what to do. That just doesn't work. But these production companies are starting to learn their lesson with that a little bit. There have been a couple successful YouTube creators that have created movies. Of course, I'm spacing right now on the two of them in particular, but one won the Cannes Movie Festival and got a distribution deal right away. So there is hope out there. I think it's and Mr. Beast, he's done a whole game show TV series on Amazon, I believe. Anyway, it's huge budget. They gave him a huge budget. I think if anybody can transfer well, if anybody's gonna cross over well, it's gonna be Mr. Beast, the biggest in the world. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm super excited about that. So another really weird thing about how they shoot movies now, not all of them, but some of them, especially like the Avenger universe, the Marvel universe, and stuff like that. They do something, and I'm going to read this very carefully so I don't screw it up. It's called plating, right? So, meaning of plates is a term from the film industry that describes various shots, virtual or film, which are composited together to make a final scene, depending upon which virtual production technique you use via green screen, XR, LED, etc. will dictate the exact plate setup. Now, I don't fully know what that means, but what I do know about plating is they do it because we have to sell to an international market. We have to cater to an international market, or we're just not, the movie industry isn't going to make it. And that's always how it's been. When we distribute outside the United States, it just makes way more profit for them. I mean, more people go see it outside, like China and India and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, China wants things a specific way, India wants things a specific way, Australia wants their movies a way. We are the Wild Wild West here in America, so we can't have all that crazy, all that craziness in some of these countries. So they shoot these movies in multiple different scenarios and different scenes and things like that, and then they show it to China, and China says, I like this, and this, or India or wherever. They're just saying China because they're one of the biggest consumers of our movies. So, and they're like, yep, this, and this. Played it that way. That's what we do. We played it together that way. We package it up, put a little bow on it, send it to the money machine, and they're happy. The production companies are happy, but there's a problem with that. The problem is, when you do that, you tend to lose something that is very vital to any movie: story. You can go to those played-it movies and you're like, "Whoa, very exciting! This happened and that happened, and man, my heart was racing." But what was the movie about? I don't actually know. That's a problem. But it is what it is. I have faith that we're gonna make it through this, though. Movies aren't going away. We love it too much, man. Just want to make sure the theaters keep going. So hopefully we can keep going out there and supporting our local theaters, and make those box office some money. The problem is I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I'm very picky about what movies I want to go see. I like specific types of movies, and usually in trailers, like, nothing is like shouting out at me, just standing out at me, like, bah! And then it's just not. I have to. There's certain things that I get real excited about, like like Beetlejuice. Oh yeah, yeah. Who's gonna be in the movie theater that day? This guy right here. I'm gonna be in the movie theater for Beetlejuice. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. You are gonna hear about that from old Rat Randall. That's happening. That is happening. We just have to wait till September before we can go see it. And I think there was one other one I was interested in. Gladiator 2. I'm not so sure. I don't even remember seeing the trailer on that, but the first one was killer, man. Literally, no pun intended. But they're making a second one, so I'll probably check that one out in theater too. But I was looking at all the other stuff going on. I'm like, maybe. Now, some I wish I would have seen in theaters. I wish I would have seen Oppenheimer in theaters. I was real excited about it, but I was just too tied up with things outside of my YouTube life, and I just couldn't make time for it, and so I didn't see it. So I am gonna see it eventually. Maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe I won't. That was a huge hit, so it must have been great. So we're here, and we're at the end of this show. I want to leave you with a couple things. So, what did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless. Why is Cinderella so bad at soccer? She kept running away from the ball. I don't know why I did that, but they were on the cue card, so I read them. Anyway, we're gonna be all right, everybody. We're gonna make it. Come here, come see me, look at me, and I'll look at you. We're gonna be okay. Life's crazy, the world's weird, in good and bad ways, but we're gonna make it. Life's good. We're good. Humans are amazing. People are amazing. Beings are amazing. We're great. You know what I always say? Don't judge me. I'm just doing my thing, and you do yours, for goodness sake. Love y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. I'm out of here.